Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Okay, I want to touch on something today that a lot of people are having issues with. And obviously, we live in the world. We obviously have to do business with people who are not believers. But there's always a danger in getting into contracts with people who have questionable ethics or maybe questionable religious beliefs. And in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 says, "Do not be bound together with unbelievers, for what partnership have righteousness and lawlessness, or what fellowship has light with darkness? Or what harmony has Christ with Belial? Or what has a believer in common with an unbeliever? Or what agreement has the temple of God with idols? For we are the temple of the living God, just as God said, I will dwell in them and walk among them. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Therefore come out from their midst and be separate, says the Lord. Do not touch what is unclean, and I will be a father to you. You shall be sons and daughters to me, says the Lord Almighty." Now there's one illustration in the Old Testament where it's in 2 Chronicles, where Jehoshaphat got involved in a business deal. It's 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 35. It says, "After this, Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, allied himself with Ahaziah, king of Israel, and he acted wickedly in doing so." So what's the issue? "So he allied himself with him to make ships to go to Tarshish, and they made ships in Ezion-Geber. Then Eleazar, the son of Dodavahu of Mareshah, prophesied against Jehoshaphat, saying, Because you have allied yourself with Ahaziah, the Lord has destroyed your works. So the ships were broken and could not go to Tarshish." Okay, so earlier on, I think chapter 9, Solomon got into a shipping industry which prospered. So there's a time to do it and there's a time not to do it. So we have to be careful and prayerful about this stuff. Now, we see things happening in our day and age. We live in a secular society, basically. Our country, America, was founded on Christian principles, Judeo-Christian principles, but we don't really, we're not really able to enforce that much anymore. We live in more of a secular environment. And so what we have is we have countries like the Saudis and the Kuwaitis coming to America, and they fund their kids coming to our universities, and as a result they build mosques outside the universities to accommodate their kids. Now here's a weird one for you. Down in Salt Lake Valley a few years ago, there was built in a mosque in Jordan, and Peggy and I went down there when it was still under construction, and come to find out, we were out in front of it with some picket signs basically exposing the problems of Islam and trying to promote the gospel and just let people be aware that there's a problem here. And come to find out, the contractor that was building this mosque, multi-million-dollar mosque, he was actually a Christian. He came out and talked to us, and he said his parents were Christian pastors. And I said, and here you are building a Muslim mosque, okay? And of course, he wasn't too happy to hear us. But so fast forward, that mosque, when it got finished, it's now the largest mosque in all of Utah. And it's now a place where they hold voting booths and everything when they have elections. So they hold it there at the mosque. And then there's recently a video which we found that the imam of that mosque claims that the Mormon church gave them $25,000 for the construction of the mosque. And not just that mosque, another mosque that he was involved in early on in Utah. Okay, so then in 2018, I believe, there's another mosque that was built in Ogden. And the reason it was built was because there's a university there, I think Heber University. And of course, there's out-of-state Muslims coming there from Kuwait. And so the Kuwaiti government funded a multi-million-dollar mosque. Now, we don't know if the Mormons were involved in that as far as fundraising, but we do know that they brag about the fact that they call it the Kuwaiti Mosque, and they brag about the fact that the Kuwaitis funded it. And not only that, it has the largest Muslim library, they claim, in the whole United States. So, now why do you need such a huge library unless you got something up your sleeve? They've got plans. Now, the problem with the Mormons is the Mormons, they will invite in the devil to keep the heating bill down. They don't really care. They'll do business with just about anybody, providing it's beneficial for them economically. But we as Christians have to be careful about that sort of thing.
As a Muslim, how Muslim community's experience been with the LDS faith?
Overall, it's been very positive. The higher ups in the LDS church hierarchy, they actually encourage followers of the LDS faith. They prefer to be called LDS, not Mormon, to extend friendship and enlarge in their social circle to include people of other faiths, such as Muslims. Sometimes it does not have the trickle-down effect, but for the most part, they're very, very welcoming. The LDS Church has a policy of donating $25,000 to any place of worship that is being built from scratch. So the Hindu temple received $25,000 from the LDS Church. This mosque received $25,000 from the LDS Church. The mosque that we built, purpose-built mosque 20 years ago, the mosque in West Valley, that also received $25,000. They have their missionary work. Missionaries might show up at your door, but that's part of worldwide church efforts. So they believe they are a missionary religion, just like Islam is a missionary religion.
Have you seen any people of other faith becoming Muslim, taking Shahada? People from the LDS faith, you see them become Muslim here too?
Yes.